Wait, did it just?
In the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
We've taken control of the oil in the Middle East, the oil that we're talking about.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create.
We choose truth over facts.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. The foothills of the Himalayas.
Television is what people are saying.
We are fighting Satan himself.
Journalists, ask them the question! Ask them! Ask them! Ask them!
Agreed that everybody, once they inside, they should. Anyway, my time's up. America's dead.
That's right, everybody.
Happy America's Dead Day.
Yeah. We really should be celebrating the death of the United States at this point. I mean, we're off the petrodollar. We're taking really big fat L's this year.
It just L after L.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I just want you to look at this guy. This is Mark Zuckerberg.
I want to parachute in just to drop kick him in the fucking head. I have so much visceral hatred for everything I'm seeing on my screen right now. What the fuck?
This man woke up this morning. I'm not going to play the volume because he's playing fucking Bruce Springsteen. And the motherfucker woke up in a tuxedo with sunglasses with an American flag while drinking beer. And he went out surfing like that.
Dude, like for real?
I'm beyond words.
Imagine being someone who just got evicted because they lost their job or some shit, and you just you open social media and you see this piece of shit. Just like this should inspire. This should activate at least 362.4 Lenins. Repeating, of course.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. This ruined my 4th of July. This video ruined my 4th of July. I saw this. I woke up and I saw this, and I'm like, "This is terrible. I hate this country."
Really?
I already hated it. Like, I already hated it enough, but like, I didn't need to see this on my screen. Like, I did not need to wake up and see Mark Zuckerberg surfing with American flag drinking beer. This is the worst thing I've seen in probably like a long time. But like, you know, we're still crossing up for 2024 bingo cards. You know.
I always kind of figured that living in America should ruin your 4th of July.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It feels like a Halloween day now. It feels like let the kids, you know, do what they gotta do. But you're Canadian, so I mean, it doesn't even matter. But it's like
we're just your hacks.
You know,
we're fucked.
Yeah,
we have the exact same bullshit up here. I just saw an interview with Justin Trudeau where, you know, it's the same thing. It's the same emperor has no clothes thing where they're like, "Hey, so you guys are getting absolutely blown the fuck out by the Conservatives. What do you have to say?" And he gives some like milquetoast boilerplate answer, and I'm like, there's no difference here. Like, and my Canada Day was the same. There's nothing to celebrate up here. Our governments are complicit in, you know, supporting a genocide. Everybody's poor. Everybody's struggling to make ends meet. Half the people I know have 2 fucking jobs. What does any Western country have to be proud about? We're built on
decaying public transportation. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
We're built on the graves of innocent people. That's North America. That's what you're celebrating. We came in, we slaughtered everybody, we took over.
Yeah, I mean, listen, get with your friends and family, do what you got to do. You know, I hung out with people a little bit, but you know, it's not like, you know, not a reason to get. I think there's always a reason to get together with friends and family.
Yeah, appreciate the friends and family. I think that should be the basis for all.
I'm coming from the aspect of there's nothing worth celebrating about this at all. Especially at this point in decaying empire.
Actually, I'd like to rename this holiday. It is no longer American Independence Day. It is National Anarcho-Brexism Enjoyment Day.
Yeah, so we're not. So what we're doing is in this episode, really, we're not declaring independence from the colonial British. We're declaring independence from the two-party system and the duopoly. That's our independence that we're declaring today. And as you can see, the White House is not. Let me pull up this document.
I personally declare independence from bourgeois electoralism in general. Because it's very fucking, as we'll get into later, it's very fucking clear. You don't live in a democracy. Neither do I. I think the events of the last week, if that wasn't the lesson you learned, that is the lesson you should learn today. You do not live in a fucking democracy. Not after what we saw.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, guys, when Joe Biden at the debate said that he finally beat Medicare, he meant big pharma.
That he beat Medicare.
He meant to say he beat Big Pharma. I mean, that's what he meant to say.
So, I mean,
how?
I don't know how. I've never seen an administration cope this hard. I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like this.
At that point, why not just say, like, look, he was tired. Like, this is what I don't get. They've already, like, farted out 1 million copes for Biden's brain melting on live TV. Why not just use one of those copes? Just be like, yeah, he misspoke. He was tired. He was traveling a lot. Like, how do you confuse Medicare with Big Pharma? That's like saying, what did Grandpa mean when he said I did a poopy in my diaper? And you're like, oh, he meant he's got to go to bed now. It makes about as much sense. It's just like, nobody's going to buy this. That's why I'm convinced that the Uniparty and the establishment in general, the ruling class, you know, they've kind of picked Trump as their guy. Because why are we seeing all of these things?
Yeah. Well, because they know he's reliable. That's the thing. They already know that he's completely sold out. He's willing to put down like fucking, you know, sell out to the Ailsons and fucking shit like that. Let me throw this up here. I actually didn't see this until you showed me this, but this is a clip that came out today from Brianna Gray's podcast. This is an interesting. I mean, I hate to say it's a Kim Iverson L, but I mean, you know, this is kind of what we're getting out of these, you know, election takes. I'm telling you, these people are the worst when it comes to like electoralism. It's always the like. I'm not when I say like, you know, I'm just saying like in general, like
to be fair,
it tends to be like a pattern. You know, it's like Tulsi people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, Snow, like you meant turn off. See if you can like turn off like your echo or something like that. It's like pretty. You have like pretty loud like background noise.
Yeah. Give me a sec. I have echo cancellation going. Just like the TV. My wife's listening to TV in the background. Okay. Is that better? TV and background audio.
Yeah.
Is that better?
No, you can hear it.
Okay. I'll just fuck me. Okay. I'll
just text her and see if you can turn it down a little bit. Other than that, it's okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think if your primary,
you don't have like noise cancellation or anything. It's in the other room.
I have noise cancellation on.
Yeah. There isn't like a door or anything? Thin walls, man.
Yeah.
It's thin walls. But let me just play this. This is just an interesting little
concern or goal is a third party, then you'd vote Kennedy. You'd have to. That's the only person who's actually going to break the duopoly. Jill Stein's not going to break that duopoly.
My primary concern isn't voting a third party. I don't want to vote for a genocidal maniac.
No, right, but you want to break a duopoly, right? You want to break the duopoly. Well, the only person who's really got a viable shot at breaking that duopoly at this point is Kennedy. Jill Stein doesn't have that. He doesn't
have a party.
He doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter.
He doesn't have a party.
You don't have to have a party.
It does matter. You have to build a party to have a.
To be fair, he does have a lot of money. He has a shit ton of money, and he's backed by all of these like MAGA like super PACs. So he's got funding by the billions. I mean, we're talking like David Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
That's who's behind him right now. And that's, I mean, if that's all you have left, that's what the campaign is like getting fed on. I'm not sure what the money is being spent on exactly. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot of what the results are this far into the election.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed that he had like his own debate with like it felt kind of like I mean, I don't want to talk too much shit. I mean, I have a clear bias against
the
him.
permanent impact on whether or not you actually are able to have.
He could later,
like Bernie Sanders,
like Bernie Sanders should have done, Bernie should have done.
But my point is that these candidates, they run these candidacies. They clearly have no interest in party development or doing anything outside of themselves. Haven't we learned that lesson already? And shouldn't we be invested in a party infrastructure over? It's not about Jill Stein as a human being, who I happen to like a great deal and respect a great deal. But it's about the party. At what point are we going to learn this lesson and stop investing in these heroic? Why not?
Because it's just too one-sided. I mean, in order to build, it's too far left. I mean, the Green Party is just never going to attract on many issues. Like,
what does that mean?
It means.
Why did she say too far left?
I mean, practically all of.
Doesn't she identify as left?
Kim Iverson, I have no idea. She kind of just seems
She's
like
so vague. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she really 100% knows either. But the thing is like, if you want to see Kim Iverson L's, everybody go look up her interviewing Richard Wolff. It's a whole fucking interview of her taking L after L because she just can't fucking understand anything he's talking about. He's talking about like workplace democracy and collective ownership over the means of production. And she's like, I just don't think anyone will work hard. Like, she just doesn't get it. Like, it was just like her brain couldn't comprehend it. And I'm sitting there, and Richard Wolff isn't really good. He's not a great debater. I'll admittedly say that. He's way too charitable to people who disagree with him, where he'll kind of he'll yes and whatever they're saying and kind of validate it and kind of fall over. I would basically say to her, like, listen, there's much more of an incentive to work harder if the fruits of your labor actually results in a direct improvement in your material conditions, in the way the company is doing, in your wages, in your benefits. If your fucking hard work, you actually see that improve, like the benefits you get from your labor, then you're going to work way fucking harder. Because as it is right now, you don't. You have a set salary, you got set benefits. Doesn't matter how hard you work, because we all know we're just working hard enough to not get fired. Because they're
acting like everyone's salary is the same under communism, which is so not true. It's not true.
That's another misconception. I hate arguing on. I hate arguing on Twitter with these soup heads who are just
what's that analogy that they use, like where it's like, we're getting a little bit off topic, but like, what's that like little like analogy that they use, like where it's like, under capitalism, everyone's like, you make your own wealth and it's free, but then under like communism, it's all everyone's the same, and someone like as like a fireman gets paid the same as like a. I don't know, or no, like a janitor gets paid as the same as like a PhD professor or something like that. Like I don't.
First off,
shit like that.
First off, that's never been a thing in any.
Never happened. That's never fucking happened.
There's
I'm
never
wondering
been
where like they're getting that from.
It's just propaganda. It's just it's deliberate misunderstanding, because the first project of demonizing any kind of socialist system is you have to run lie after lie after lie, because you can't take the system on paper because it sounds better than capitalism. Because, spoiler alert, it fucking is. So the first thing you have to do is you have to fucking lie about it. Which is why you have these ridiculous soup-headed things. And because education in the West in general is so bad and biased and one-sided, people don't fucking know better. So they go, oh, okay, janitor getting paid the same as doctor, that makes sense. Which it doesn't, because Like, why would you invest
No one
so
does
much?
that.
Why would
No
you
one's
invest
done
so much? Why would you invest so much more into becoming a doctor if you can just pick up a broom and make the same money?
Soviet
It
Union
makes
never
no
did that.
sense. No,
The
they
Soviet
didn't.
Union never did that. They never did that.
No socialist country has ever done that
That's
ever.
crazy.
It is the weirdest
Okay,
fucking lie. Let's keep
finish
going.
this.
Of them. Jill Stein is not, though. Jill Stein as a candidate is actually quite populist. Jill Stein is incredibly populist as a candidate. And she disagrees with her party all the time because the party has, very leftist positions that is just, they're not going to attract the populist middle.
There's
or even the
disagreements
populist
within
right.
the Republican Party. There's disagreements within the Democratic Party. Most of the Republican Party thinks that you should give every last dollar in every American's bank account to Ukraine and litigate the war to the very end. Most of the Republican Party believes in a whole bunch of things that are not part of the populist wing that independents want to pretend that the Republican Party really is. The Republican Party isn't, Massey and Ron Paul. Like, that's just a fringe component. The same way that there's a lot of diversity within the Democratic Party. The point is, though, that on a very basic level, the Green Party adopts all of the populist frameworks that we say that we care about as people who formally supported Bernie Sanders, right? Really basic bedrock issues like Medicare for all, which 69% of voters of Americans still wanting to have these greater labor protections, wanting the environment not to burn up into a crisp. I mean, it's not like a rocket science issue, right? Like, this isn't a close one in terms of which one of these parties, and I say that again, understanding that RFK Jr. doesn't have a party, which one of these parties actually represents the interests of most Americans.
Okay, the problem I have with Brianna here is that she's like framing it in a way where it's like Jill Stein versus RFK, where we have to pick one.
The problem I have is that she's talking about how popular Medicare is, but I heard on the TV just the other week that we actually beat it. So I don't know why. This is very mixed messaging.
Yeah, we beat Big Pharma.
Yeah, we finally beat. Sorry, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen on TV. Here's the cope.
The Green Party doesn't. I mean, it would be way more popular if it did. If anything, the Libertarian Party has a better shot at breaking through, in the existing parties that are out there that are already kind of growing and popular. The Libertarian Party has a greater shot at becoming that third party potential.
When did that happen? What
is the Libertarian Party? I keep asking this. What are their actual policies? They
don't have one.
The Libertarian Party. Okay.
Dude, they invited Trump, and then they all fighted each other over it. They invited Trump to their convention.
The Libertarian Party is literally just fucking return to monkey. That's it. That's the whole party.
It's just they don't have anything.
They might as well make their slogan "Unga Bunga, vote for us," because we're just gonna leave society. We're gonna pick up some fucking clubs. We're gonna go ride wargs in the desert. Like, they don't fucking stand for anything. They don't even know what they support. They're just like, remove government, and you defeat every single libertarian argument by just saying, okay, feudalism, and that's it.
Just look at Javier Milei. Look at Argentina. It's great.
I mean, but they've got their own ideological problems that people are uncomfortable with. The fact that what is the ideology other than no government for anything?
They don't want a government.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So here's the cope I'm hearing about this. You've got these seemingly independent media voices who are like, they're basically kind of forcing you to pick one of these like non-duopoly options, and they're talking about breaking the duopoly and all this other shit, but they're still trying to get you invested in the system. They're still trying to get you to buy in to electoralism, where I'm sorry, I'm going to burst a lot of bubbles here, a lot of third-party bubbles too. I know a lot of y'all were frothing at the mouth when it came to Cornell, and a lot of people are frothing at the mouth when it comes to Jill, but the reality is we don't live in a fucking democracy in North America. We don't, because first past the post voting isn't democratic. Okay? The majority of people are always going to be forced into these slots, which is I have to hold my nose and vote for the party that I don't think the party that I think is marginally better than the other party that I think is worse. The majority of people are always going to get scared and get forced into that. And so all you have to do is make one side get progressively shittier, and you can just shove your country in a direction that benefits the rich and powerful and fucks over the workers. That happens in every single capitalist country across the board. You always fall into that dilemma, and there isn't a way around that. You can't vote your way out of that dilemma. That's the problem. That's why I'm sorry, like third party, if you're going to vote for third party, do it, but understand it's a masturbatory vote. You're voting to make yourself feel better. That's essentially what you're doing. And if you vote for the duopoly, you're essentially validating the system too. So you're really fucked either way, right? That's just how I feel about it. But everybody's talking about.
I do think if we had like a 3% voter turnout in the United States, like that'd be really like crazy. But that's just a theory. I'm not suggesting don't vote. I'm just saying, do what you have to do. I mean, maybe throw it at Joe Stein. I did it in 2016, but I would consider myself like sort of liberal until like maybe like 2020.
I'm not saying, to clarify, I'm not saying don't vote. I'm just saying don't get your hopes up. Don't spend all of your time.
Yeah, no, it should be
obsessing over this shit.
Yeah, we kind of get like hyper focused in this shit. I mean, it's kind of thrown in your face within the election cycle, and you can kind of see it like with how like the Biden how everyone's paying attention to like the Biden implosion right now, and like that's pretty much like the main like headlines that are running through. But I just want to show this because this is going just went popping off pretty fast.
Oh, this was so good.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I have no idea who this kid was. I'll be honest with you.
It's a robot.
I saw this. I downloaded it and then I posted it to Twitter. And now I'm in this whole debacle. You guys got to see this. Hold on a second. I don't know how old this guy is. This kid, he's like, how old is he? Maybe like 10, 12? Now they're using literal children. Like this kid, he can't be older than 18. He definitely can't. Literal children to sim for the Democratic Party and tell you not to vote for third parties. That you owe your vote to the Democrats. Watch this. This is insane. Let me know. Is this child abuse?
Yes, before watching it.
I think I'm going crazy. Stop voting for third-party candidates. They can't win, and they only make the Republicans win, and Democrats lose. I can't stress this enough. We now have a Republican Supreme Court because you guys voted third party in 2016. Is 2016 not enough proof? Because now the Donald Trump Supreme Court destroyed Roe v. Wade, destroyed affirmative action, and now we have this presidential immunity thing that... Stop voting third party. Seriously. Now, 2024, new year. Okay, we have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, most effective administration, American history. JoeBiden.com/accomplishments if you care to learn about what he's done, by the way. I can't stress it enough. Stop voting third party. How about this? I'll make a deal. Vote third party in 2028. Do it. But 2024 is too important. Project 2025, everything is on the line. Just please. And this is not a paid ad, by the way.
This is not a paid ad. Yeah,
thanks for the clarification.
Thanks. Yeah, sure, Noah.
Kiddo.
His name's Noah. So his username is Noah.
He already blocked me.
So I wasn't expecting this. Now this came at me. I swear this happened like before it was like 100 likes. I want to tell you right now, like this is already sitting at 400. I was not expecting this. And then Chris Mallory, the DNC propagandist himself, decides that, dude, he's just a kid, has a voice just like everyone else. You don't like it, fine, but it's just not some deep state plot. It's stunning you lack any ability to understand how others think, even if you staunchly disagree with them. I'd say that's an emotional maturity level of near zero. I'm on a list.
And he got ratio. Dude, you are on a list, and I can't believe this shill got fucking ratio.
Yo,
this is incredible.
So I'm pretty sure he's calling out his his backup troops. So make sure you go like this shit, because I'm gonna like it myself, because you can't even see likes anymore. So go like this shit right now, and let's ratio this motherfucker, because we're getting pretty bad. We gotta keep them coming, guys. Let's keep ratio this motherfucker. It's so bad. It is so bad. I do want to say, yeah. So, continue.
The fact that this dude responded so quickly to this shit means that like someone got this on the radar, and I guarantee you this is in like a DNC shill fucking Slack channel somewhere, where just like, this guy's posting shit about the corpse, go defend the corpse. Because like, yeah, this is, I mean, was this kid even fucking alive in 2016? Was this kid even born?
Okay, where did he commented somewhere? I'm trying to remember. You
won't be able to see it if the kid blocked you.
I don't think he did.
He didn't block you? Okay.
What's his username again? It's Noah, right?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I've got to.
No, he didn't block me. Yeah. So okay, I have no idea who this kid is. I have no idea who he is.
He's just a normal, average, everyday, working class kid who,
of course,
has photo ops with the president. Sniffing him. Is he getting sniffed? Can you go down a bit? Is he getting sniffed? Can we confirm that's a sniff?
Almost.
Oh no, the old man boy, the old man face. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
Noah, you're in some trouble, man. I'm sorry.
Can you change your name to Noah Bueno, please? No, scroll down a little bit, please. He's getting sniffed. He's getting sniffed.
He's being eaten alive. Stop. He's sucking the adrenochrome out of your brain right now.
He is beating the Medicare. He's beating the Medicare out of you. That man will insert a tadpole into your eyeball, and you will become under the control of the illicit apparatus. LOL.
So of course he came in backup. Thank you, Chris. I'm trying to. Where did
So wait, he retweeted him and then quote tweeted the exact same as the retweet.
Let me see my replies real quick. Okay, here we go. Now he coming. Oh, it was under the Nico's post. So he says he already accused Nico of being well known for trying to get Trump elected.
When the fuck has Nico said vote for Trump?
Then he accused him of holding back the black race. That's insane. That's crazy.
I can school you in a debate, Kami. That's great. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So and then he said, "Shut the STFU in the most disrespectful way possible." Okay. This sounds like middle school. So I asked.
How old were you in 2016?
I was just curious. I'm recognizing. Listen, I would like to consider like myself at least a little bit mature enough to like not like purposely want to dunk on this kid or anything. I understand. He's just a kid. I'm simply out of curiosity. I just want to know, so I can guesstimate his age. How old were you in 2016? Because, like I understand not giving away your age too, but
bro, listen.
The whole center point of your argument is that we ruined it by voting for Joe Stein in 2016. All the Joe Stein voters in 2016.
I can't stress this enough. We now have a Republican Supreme Court because you guys voted third party in 2016. Is 2016 not enough proof? Because
so I want to know how old he was in 2016.
Of course,
he's saying it, and he said you act the same age I was during that time. I can school you in a debate, Kami. I'm not going to debate.
Angel.
I simply asked, how old were you in 2016? Is this creepy? I'm not trying to do anything. I simply am curious. Because the whole center point of your argument is 2016. I just want to know how old. You can tell me an age range.
Because
10 to 13 or 7 to 9. 5 to 10, whatever, or 10 to 15. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but because there's no way this kid is older than 18. There's no way. Chris Mowry, at least, I think he's like 21 or something. But, dude, what?
Because
the whole this campaign is imploding. That's how you know this campaign is imploding on itself. They're sending out literal children to do propaganda for them to purposely shame people who vote for third parties.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's of course he's not going to answer that because the whole the whole authority of what he's saying, the authenticity of it evaporates if it becomes apparent that he was too young to even process what happened in 2016. Because that means that at the end of the day, someone just handed him a fucking script and said, here, kid, read this. And let's be real. In 2016, this kid was still being grown in a lab at Davos, I'm pretty sure. So,
so he's over at Palette Management. So Palette Management got a call, or they're in their Palette Management Slack channel, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's talking shit about one of our guys. I bet Noah is hooked up with that company too. I bet you that he is.
Of course.
They're most likely coworkers.
Yeah, maybe he's training under Chris. Maybe Chris is his team lead, and he's training to be to be the new, maybe he's the, there's always two Sith. Well, I guess there's two here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Harry's stepping down to become, I don't know, an android. I don't know. All these creatures were grown in a fucking lab. I don't think these are real people. I think these are advanced. It could just be AI. I mean, really.
Probably. So we can confirm the self-implosion because we had Joy Reid that said last week that the Obama people. Now if you piss off Obama, that's a DNC collapse.
Yep.
That said, I too was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak. And, I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. President Biden had one job tonight, and it was one primary job. And yes, it was to litigate Donald Trump's, criminality and all of those things. but he had to settle his own party. He needed to settle Democrats. Democrats, you know, they always talk about Democrats are bedwetters and Democrats are always panicking. Yes, Democrats are always panicking. They're always scared, right? They're always thinking they're going to lose. Like, Democrats are very pessimistic. This is just
Neurotic.
who they are. They're neurotic. But Joe Biden's job was to reassure them tonight. His job was to calm his party, to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. I have the ability and the stamina and the strength to do 4 more years.
Yeah, so I want to call out in the cheap fakes video that we did that we posted today. We read that Daily Mail article about how there was like a Democratic strategist talking about how Joe Biden basically has the debate to prove to donors that he, can finish a sentence and not collapse on himself and not shit in his diaper. And he didn't. And if he does not do that, that they were going to replace Biden. Now the Biden replacement talks were already coming in like a year ago, if you remember.
Yep.
But they specifically last week, and if you watch that video that we posted today from the cheap fakes video, which was kind of like the opening to it, but like I closed with that. We were closing with that, and that pretty much pointed out exactly what's happening here in real time. These conversations are happening because you need to like really follow the money and like who's really controlling the Democratic Party, because it's it's a mix of people. And like we in that article, that Daily Mail article specifically mentioned Schumer, I believe, but Pelosi, Obama, Clinton, and like a whole like mix of people to step down. So go watch that one. Even Nancy Pelosi, after shilling for him, now is validating these questions.
So we have all these things that he was masterful in helping to orchestrate, to write, and to pass. So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking, and the rest. He has a bad night. Now, again, I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition? So we have all these things that he was masterful.
Masterful. Okay.
Masterful.
We can call that masterful. But yeah, I don't know how many. It probably took a couple of Xannies for her to be able to say that.
She started drinking at 8 a.m. Guaranteed.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. Like you can kind of tell, even when mainstream media is kind of saying like it's over. But CNN led with this yesterday morning.
It's fucking
They led
over.
with this story. They led with campaign in crisis.
This is a live look at the White House. Can you see inside the windows to see what the discussion is in there today? No, but there is a lot we are standing by for to see what happens today. Like 6 days after the presidential debate and the Democrats' dam of support for President Biden showing real cracks. There are calls for more transparency around his health, calls for him to step aside, and calls for his VP, Kamala Harris, to step in. And those calls are growing louder. In hours, President Biden will have lunch with the vice president. We also know the White House will soon hold an all-staff phone call. And there's also potentially a watershed moment today when Biden is meeting with a group of Democratic governors, some already expressing real concern. This is a live look at the White House. Can you?
Yeah. Big decisions are happening behind the scenes. DNC is in complete crisis. And you want to know why? When it's not only just mainstream media reporting on it, but the donors.
Yep.
The donors are coming after you. This is an incredible watch. But
pissed off at the founding fathers. They had the start date of 35. They just didn't give us the end date. Well, everybody died, so they didn't have to give the end date. I don't want to deal with Donald Trump and what he said was true. It's a given, certain things. I'm not going to talk about CNN. Here's what Biden did. He said he was going to run for one term, and he's doing it to restore democracy. He now runs for a second term. First bit of malarkey, as he would say.
Now listen, this is a Hollywood DNC mega donor.
Yeah, just for a bit of context. Just for a bit of context, this guy is the head of one of the biggest agencies in Hollywood. This was actually the inspiration for Ari Gold of Entourage's character. So
then he says that this is for the. It's a.
Why I forgot. I wanted to mention this is why we follow the money. You always follow the money. Once the money stops,
of course.
This.
Quintessential thought about saving democracy and it's so important, etc. His cohorts have told us that he's healthy for over a year, and I think it was 2 weeks ago there was an article in the Wall Street Journal. And I had a father who died at 92, but at 81, I took away his car. And it's a very simple test for me. If you were driving from, anywhere they understand, from downtown Beverly Hills to Malibu, would you want Biden to do it at night? Would you want Trump to do it at night? Or would you want neither? If the answer is neither, you cannot have them running a $27 trillion company called the United States.
Okay.
That's very telling. Very telling. And this is why we say here, this is what we mean when we talk about a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie. Because this is a very simple transaction. Okay? These people, the rich and powerful, they fund the politicians. The politicians get in. They count on them to get in. So they can then cook the books and craft the laws and create the policies that benefit them and fuck you and me over. Okay?
This man said the multi-trillion-dollar company called the United States. He called our country a company.
It is a company.
I don't think anyone really. I know, but everyone knows that. But I don't think anyone can really sink that in. He said that to a public audience. It's everyone realizes it, but no one wants to say it out loud.
And then we sat in a situation where he went to France for the 80th anniversary and talked about the sacrifice that those soldiers made for us. So he has said, and his cohorts have said, he's the only one that has defeated Trump. It does seem like Donald Trump said, I'm the only one, I alone can save, make all these problems go away. And now Biden is saying, I'm the only one that can beat Trump. Seems like it's pretty similar here. And we have a great bench in the Democratic Party. And so we're looking at a man who's saying the other guy's a liar, and he's telling us malarkey. His people are telling us malarkey. But we're in a very bad problem. He is not the candidate anymore. I mean, if you all remember, this is a legal issue now. He was going to get kicked off the ballot in Ohio. They elected him the candidate. So you no longer can remove him. In 3 swing states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, there's only one Democratic Congress, Michigan. They have to vote to remove him. I don't believe the Republican Party in Pennsylvania and in Wisconsin are going to do that. Okay, and if they do, it's then Kamala Harris. We don't have. This is legal, so lawyers have to look at this, and everybody says, "Well, get rid of him and brokered convention." No, Now, maybe the delegates, there's some question whether the delegates can do something. And I promised myself I wasn't going to swear. So this is a pickle.
Yo, you can tell they're pissed. The donors are pissed.
You know, the lifeblood and I have a brother who's a politician. He's an ambassador, as it said. The lifeblood to a campaign in politics, the lifeblood is money.
There it is.
Yep.
Right there.
And maybe the only way this gets, with smart lawyers looking at it, is if the money starts drying up. And I'm assuming all of you've gotten a lot of calls. I've gotten a lot of calls. We've all sat there. It was.
Well, I was going to say, what happens now?
You know,
and
if this is as Biden says, the fight for our democracy, and he talks about the soldiers, man, he gave us a bunch of malarkey, and I'm really pissed. Right. And we all should be really pissed.
Right.
They, as we laid out in that Daily Mail article from a week before this happened, he had one shot, and he was supposed to not fuck it up, and knowing Biden, he fucked it up. So this is just a natural result.
And what does this do to Jeffrey Katzenberg's fundraising?
Well, you know, Jeffrey, I mean, you're going to know in the next you're going to see polling, you're going to see
the TOIT funders.
In the next couple of weeks, if the money comes in, I talked to a bunch of big donors, and they're moving all their money to Congress and the Senate. I mean, I cannot believe we're in this situation.
Well, as one of the great disruptors.
This man slapped his laps like a baby. He's like, "When?"
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he was like, but that's how you know. Like they're pissed off. They're pissed. They wanted.
Sorry. What do you mean you can't believe you're in this situation? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't understand this weird framing of like, I can't believe Joe Biden has a brain that is filled with ramen noodles. I can't believe this.
It's just pure soup. It's all soup.
I don't actually know who Joe Biden is at all. I was just told he's doing some politics stuff. How are you guys all like so bamboozled by this? It's in our fucking intro to this show. Okay? It's been, the dude has said gibberish for fucking years now, and you're like, I am just so befuddled by this news. Bro, do you just live in like a castle? Do you not interact with any other human beings at all? Holy shitting fuck balls.
Disruptors in your career. I mean,
can't believe it.
And sleepwalk.
It's a legal issue now.
Yeah.
You're not in. I'm going to resign. You know, unless the lawyers tell you something else, and maybe there's some wiggle room. I haven't seen it, and I'm not a lawyer, but we're in fuck city.
Okay, I'm glad we got to that.
Fuck city.
Yeah,
you know what I think this actually? You know what I think this? Sorry, real quick. You know what I think this actually is? I think they knew he was a walking sweet potato. I think they knew that, but I think what the donors are panicking about most.
I think they thought the drugs were going to work, but no, I think his tolerance is too high.
I don't. Yeah. I'm not necessarily that. What I think they're freaking out about is on fucking CNN, the network that does nothing but shill for Biden 24/7. He took a massive L and showed that his brain was melting to the entire public. And I think why that's a problem for the donors is this whole dictatorship of the bourgeoisie thing. This grift they got going on, this bullshit only works if the public buys in. And the public is fooled into thinking they actually live under a democracy, that these politicians actually work for them. And I feel like after that debate, a lot of people completely lost confidence. So a lot of these donors are like, oh, fuck, the other dude's going to win. That means the other donors, and it's all controlled, but we'll get into that. But like, oh, fuck, the other dude's going to win. We're investing in the wrong candidate. This is not a good return on our investments. Also, again, it shattered this whole we live in a democracy thing. We'll get to this later, but it essentially communicated that it's like, if this guy's brain is just filled with various Lego blocks, then it's painfully obvious he doesn't run the country, which provokes a follow-up question. It provokes a follow-up question for a lot of people, where it's like, we are run by a melty brain 800-year-old cadaver. So who's making all these decisions?
Just watch. There's a bit of a debate going on right now whether he should just stay, or go. It seems like the donors posted this a couple days ago.
I love this.
This is incredible. I don't think Biden is going anywhere. The donor told CNN. The Democratic Party donor told CNN. This is the old horse we've got, and we need to ride him until he's ready for the glue factory.
Bro, he was ready for the glue factory 2 years ago.
This is how they talk.
Not going anywhere. And that motherfucker could keel over tomorrow. I don't think he'll live till. I don't think he'll be alive on Monday. I think he might.
I don't, dude. I think he's gonna die before the election. I genuinely think they're gonna something's gonna happen. Whatever.
The dude, Jon Stewart, did the best. I hate to give props to Jon Stewart, but he had a really funny quip. He said during the debate, Biden had resting 25th Amendment face.
Wait, who said that?
Jon Stewart.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's not on board. He's like, what the fuck is this? Like, he was roasting Biden.
No, dude, you can't, like, no one can deny it anymore because everyone watched that debate and they were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, everybody switched on a dime.
So in Silicon Valley, a group of mega donors, including Ron Conway and Ron Powell, were calling, texting, and emailing one another about the situation they described as a possible catastrophe. The donors wondered about whom the Biden could contact, which was Jill Biden, the First Lady. So this really begs the question, what is really keeping Joe Biden in? There's a lot of calls for him to just simply step down. And there's been debates. I mean, he's coming back with his family at Camp David with Hunter and Jill. Apparently, he told a close ally just yesterday that he's considering dropping out.
Good morning, top of the hour. You are live.
And CNN is reporting this. Just to provide some framing.
They keep running this. They keep running this shit. So, everyone's making noise about this. There's complete, meltdown right now.
Hill in New York, and we do begin this hour with breaking news. The New York Times reporting President Biden has told an ally, a close ally, he is considering whether to stay in the presidential race. This is the first indication Mr. Biden could end his re-election bid as the fallout from his disastrous debate performance continues to be felt. Joining. Good morning, top of the.
And to the people who are like, oh my God, why does he keep flip-flopping between I'm not going anywhere and I might drop out? Have you looked at his brain?
This was evident for the past 4 years. I don't know why everyone's waking up to it now. I really don't. I really don't.
Who can replace Joe Biden? The presidential debate was so disastrous that this question has arisen. Kamala Harris comes to everyone's mind first, but Democrats could also pick Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, J.B. Pritzker, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, or Cory Booker. At the Democratic National Convention in August, delegates would vote to choose the nominee if Biden stepped down. If Biden drops out after the convention, the party's main committee would select a new nominee. They also have the authority to choose a new candidate if either the presidential or vice presidential nominee withdraws, or will it be Biden's running mate Kamala Harris? That's still the question.
So here's the real killer. Here's the real killer. You know what? You know how he's out? SNL this past week. That was a genuinely funny. That was a good one.
Yeah.
So we're really begging the question here. Here's the thing. You were kind of pointing to this before. You said like we have a president with a soup brain right now. Who is so? No one really lets that sink in. This man is the president right now.
Yep.
We have a brain melting. Just today was horrendous for him. Today he said he was a black woman. He called himself a black woman.
The first vice president, first black woman, served with a black president.
Dude, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. This thing is over. This thing it's done.
It's Jover.
And so we're really asking here. Who is who is running the executive branch? Who's making these, we have 2 wars going on, right? More than that. Who's making these important daily decisions, what's considered the most important job in the world? NBC reports that Biden was humiliated, amazing, by his debate performance, and in discussing his future with his family tomorrow. So, senior congressional Democrats, including Rep. Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, they have privately expressed concerns about his viability. We showed you that as well. 3 colleagues in the same sentiment. The only person that has the ultimate influence with him is the First Lady.
Lady Macbeth. A classic tale.
So we're playing the little game. Who is actually running the country? Take your bets, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start with Jill. Now, Jill seems to have a very strong hold on Joe here.
I hope Jill has a strong hold on Jill, because Joe definitely doesn't have a strong hold on Joe.
Yeah, she's already, dude. She's on the cover of Vogue. She's eating it up. She does not want to lose this because she still has a functioning brain, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this is the shit. These are the kind of covers that this is what Joe's getting.
His faces during the debate were incredible. Oh my god! It's like, have you ever seen that skit? Have you guys ever seen that skit that Bill Burr does about like how old people have that like frightened like old man face, or it's like he is the perfect. I might actually cut that together. I'm going to cut that together. I'm going to take Bill Burr's skit and I'm going to cut it with just Biden moments from the debate.
Jesus Christ. So, is it Jill that's running the country? Is she making all these executive decisions and holding in all the official meetings and stuff? I mean, she's not always like at all the meetings, but
let's see. I think Jill is the one Biden listens to. I think the reason why Biden's holding on is his own narcissism, which has been apparent for his entire miserable fucking career. But the thing is, like, this guy's been a fucking joke. He's been dunked on and shit on and called out for his pathological lying and all this other bullshit for so goddamn long that he's like, no, this has to end in a happy ending for me. I can't go out as a disgrace. I can't end my miserable life the same way that I've lived all of it. It's all ego with him. And, even if your brain is soup and you have dementia, guys, I'm begging everybody, do not feel bad for this fucking wretched old ghoul.
No one should feel bad.
He was always a shitty person. This is the guy that talked about not wanting his son to grow up in a racial jungle. Like
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah,
he's an absolute fucking toilet. He is a walking toilet. It just now the toilet doesn't flush properly. That's the only thing. Now it doesn't flush.
Literal walking broken toilet.
He's a broken toilet.
He's a walking broken toilet. I've never. Okay, normally. Okay, this is 1 second.
Sorry guys. Crab's having a Biden moment. He just finally beat Medicare.
He finally beat Medicare. I had a Bluetooth moment. My Bluetooth just disconnected and connected again for some reason. However,
shit, why didn't the White House go with that? Biden had a Bluetooth moment. That would have been perfect.
a Bluetooth moment. It's cheap fakes. It's apparently it's cheap fakes. I think.
Well, it's cheap real right now.
So that's the thing. I wouldn't normally be covered. I don't consider this stuff necessarily important. In a lot of ways. But this is such a historical spectacle to be seen because I've never seen anything like this. I don't know if you know of anything like this that happened. I saw Bad Cookies brought up that this has happened before. This is not the first time.
Which
I believe it happened with Ronald Reagan. But there was his brain was not melting. His brain was not. He was not having daily to day this man. We have a president that's going off he's coming out with 10, 20 clips a day.
And here's the thing. There's a problem where the candidate for president whose brain was eaten by a worm is not the first choice you'd pick. Okay, when you think which of these people had their brain eaten by a worm that then subsequently died? You choose him. You wouldn't even choose RFK. This guy is just... I'm also begging people. I am begging people. Can we just not elect fossil humans who are out of touch because they've been entrenched in the system for 40 years and they haven't had to buy their own gas in 3 decades, maybe. Just kind of maybe someone with a finger on the pulse a little bit.
I want to clip this into the Kim Iverson thing because, dude, you're talking of RFK Jr. This is what he just said on Breaking Points this past 2 days ago.
I've said this from the beginning. I am not a church boy. I am not running like that. I said I had a very, very rambunctious youth. I said in my announcement speech that I have so many skeletons in my closet that if they could all vote, I could run for king of the world.
You're talking there about the nanny situation. I mean, I do have to ask her. I mean, are you denying it or not?
I'm not going to comment on it.
All right. Well, I gave you the opportunity, and
that's crazy. That's an insane answer. That's an insane answer. That's your independent choice, and that's what some people are shilling for right now. That's insane. That's pretty crazy to me. That man has brain worms. Just probably, I don't know how many brain worms he has, but he's got his own dish of problems.
I mean,
let's get back to.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
You pulled a fast one.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You exposed my extremely white dancing. God damn. Now I'm done. I'm cooked. It's Jover.
It's so Jover.
It's so Jover.
What were you going to say before I cut you off?
I already forgot.
Okay. Fuck. Shit. Sorry.
I was going to say we finally beat
Medicare. That's going down forever. So here's a second possibility. Maybe it's Jill. Maybe it could be contestant number 2, Hunter Biden. Joe's crackhead son is probably running the country right now.
Breaking news. We're now learning that Hunter Biden is attending some of the president's meetings at the White House, staying close to his father post-debate. NBC's Monica Alba is reporting from Washington, D.C. What more can you tell us, Monica?
Well, these are new details coming into our team, Chris, along with my colleagues, Kristen Welker, Mike Memley, and Sarah Fitzpatrick. We have learned from sources familiar with the situation at the White House that Hunter Biden has been by his father's side ever since they were at Camp David this weekend as a family, where they had some discussions about the president's potential path forward here and his re-election campaign, and that since he returned from Camp David last evening with his father, we understand that Hunter Biden has even joined some meetings and conversations that have taken place between the president and some of his most senior advisors and senior staff. And while we should note that it's not unusual for Hunter Biden to be at the White House, to be in the residence, to be attending certain White House events, which we have certainly seen time and time again over the last 3.5 years, where we have seen photos of him and where he has appeared in public, it is unusual, according to the people we spoke with, for him to be participating at this level and to have the sort of regularity of some of these contacts and conversations with senior staff. We understand, again, since returning yesterday from Camp David, where they were more huddled as a family, to now as the president has resumed some of his more traditional meetings at the White House with those key advisors.
That's kind of nutty. Dude. We have
this is awesome. I love this. I love this for America. You know, that's definitely what we need. We need a insane crackhead pulling the strings. That's good. Real good. Good shit.
This is stressful, man. He's got the keys to the Fed right now. Hunter Biden. We have a crackhead. The keys to the Fed. That's pretty bad.
We got a crackhead loose in the White House.
To a swift end. The risk of this mission and the risk of all this mission.
What do you think he's thinking right now? What do you think he's on?
He's probably thinking I want some crack. Or shit. Is that hooker still breathing behind the trailer? She might be still breathing.
It's a curious. He's just thinking. He's got wide eyes. Wide eyes.
He's probably thinking, I really hope my dad dies somewhere privately and not on this stage right now.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Of all this mission should bring the war to a swift end. The risk of this mission and the risk of all this mission were enormous.
That could be a potential president right now. We don't know who's actually running the country. We don't actually know. That's the whole point. So
and that's the biggest. That's the biggest
crackhead son. Another contestant in the running. Why don't they just make him run? Wait. Why don't they poll Hunter Biden and Trump? Is it because he's a felon?
No, it's not just because he's a felon. Okay, because the chuds, the other wing on this giant billionaire fueled bird would have a fucking field day with him. Can you imagine him debating Trump and Trump just bringing up all the crack videos and the laptop and the deals with Ukraine. Like, it would be so over so quick. There's just so much fucking dirt. You need someone who's like, so the way these like kind of pro wrestling, pretty much bullshit elections work is you got to run someone who's a complete kind of stark contrast to the last person that the masses are upset with. So you kind of saw that with Obama, right? Obama was like very well spoken, very articulate, but let a lot of people down. He fucked over a whole country. He bombed the shit out of the Middle East. He did a lot of shitty stuff. So then in comes Trump, who's the exact opposite. He's boisterous. He's fucking off his rocker. He's not even good at lying. He's narcissistic as hell. And then from Trump, you get Biden, who again is now like, he's your lovable grandpa, or at least the image that they crafted when they MK Ultra'd his brain and shit. So now they got to find like a contrast to the like diminishing, soup brain sort of shit going on. And someone who already seems like they're a little off the rocker wouldn't be the ideal choice. They gotta pick someone sharp, clean as a whistle. Not her.
We're back. Where we got a third one in the running, and Kamala Harris. Is she actually running? Some people are asking for a Harris Sanders ticket.
A Handers ticket. I like that. A Handers ticket.
A Handers ticket.
A Handers ticket. A handy ticket, if you will. Ooh, that was bad. Do you think you could even bring all the Bernie bros back? Because realistically, I know a lot of revolutionary, like far left people.
K-Hive is coming back. They're thriving a little bit now. They're trying to make Kamala a thing again, and it's just it is like the sixth time, and they can't do it. You know why?
I think they're just
she would lose against Trump. She would lose against Trump really bad.
Yeah, because like nobody. Okay, here's like the problem. Here's a problem with Kamala Harris. Okay, she's done nothing. The only thing that anyone knows about Kamala Harris is that she has fucking bees in her head. That's it. She has no personality outside of saying like the most weird, nebulous bullshit imaginable, to the point where they can't run her because she's just kind of an extension of Biden, insofar as she's going to do the same weird, like, what the fuck is this person talking about shit whenever they speak. It's such a bad call. Imagine her debating Trump. He like jabs at her for some of the shit they did during the administration. She goes on this weird platitude about like, I don't know, making jambalaya, or how like she likes playing Jenga like at night with a couple of Xanax. I don't know what would happen, but it wouldn't be good. Oh shit. Here's Cuomo.
No, it's more of what
the editor-in-chief and found very good. Let me let you start. The governors come out and say, we're good with Joe. Why isn't that the end of the conversation?
Thanks for having me, Chris. Just want to correct something from your very interesting, excellent monologue in many ways. I'm not a Democrat, right? I'm a progressive. I'm of the left. I'm not a member of the Democratic Party. I'm not approaching this as a Democrat. Well, I am actually as a small d Democrat. The reason I have a skin in this game, why I care about...
This guy just called himself a small d Democrat.
I'm a small d. Bro, if you just made that shit up, never try riffing on air again. I'm a small D
Democrat. Because I care about the future of American democracy. As you say, we're about to celebrate the 4th of July, independence, American history. I believe all of that is at stake come November. And the only thing I care about is stopping the proto-fascist candidate that the GOP are putting up once again. And when I look at the polls, when I look at the debate last week, when I look at the numbers, it just is very clear that Joe Biden is in a very bad place, as you laid out in the introduction. No president has ever been this unpopular at this stage in the cycle, so close to Election Day. Thursday night was a car crash of a debate. That's when I came out and said he should step aside. I've never said that before. I said it Thursday night because it was just ridiculous what we saw on Thursday night. And because I see no way back for Joe Biden. One thing I've been waiting for the last few days is for a plan. What is the plan that Joe Biden has to recover all the voters he's losing by the day? He's down 6 points in the New York Times poll today among likely voters, 9 points among 8 points, amongst registered voters. In fact, the most crucial stat, Chris, in that poll is that the number of Republican voters who want Biden to stay on as the nominee has gone up, not down, since last week, because the Republicans know he's eminently beatable. So I want to hear what the plan is. I don't think there's a plan. They briefed to Axios, Team Biden, he's going to give a great convention speech. We may get an interest rate cut, and that's going to deliver victory. That's BS. They're in a very bad place. If they switch now to Kamala Harris, they have some chance of recovering ground, having a younger, more effective prosecutor of the case, someone who can maybe turn the page on Gaza, and someone who could actually rhetorically beat up Trump at the next debate if there is another debate.
This man thinks that Kamala is going to switch on Gaza like that. Like she's just going to stop bombing kids. Like she just she just starts to feel bad now that she's president. Now that you rewarded her the presidency, that's the shit that's going on.
Bro, the worst part of that debate by far was you had two candidates who basically were slap fighting each other over who's fucking hornier for Israel. It was the worst. Meanwhile, we're all watching this horror unfold in front of our eyes.
It was literally like a horror show. It was literally like
Zion Dawn literally is just like, they should finish the job. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't know what that means, it means literally finish the job. He's talking like final solution shit. That's what that was. And she's gonna switch on this issue? Fuck no, she's not. These guys are just good at cosplaying concern while doing the exact same thing the conservatives do. That's all liberals do.
Concern. I like that.
That's all liberals do in North America and in Europe as well. They just pretend that, like, oh my God, I care about these people, while actively contributing to the problem. That's always been their fucking grift.
So here's the thing. I mean, we've had apparently this Tucker Carlson tweet says that he says from an unusually good source, Obama's tweet supporting Joe Biden was disingenuous, which is I believe is referring to this right here. The debate nights happen. Trust me, I know. But Tucker Carlson is saying that Obama is telling people that Biden can't win. That Jill is the driving force.
Want to say hi?
Gretchen Whitmer. So here's okay. I was reading that somewhere behind the scenes, Kamala's pissed that she's not the first choice. Okay. Oh, we got Kitty Cam.
Just made her say hi. But she's antsy.
So let's get on to our next contestant. Maybe it's ChatGPT. It could be ChatGPT. Here's an opinion piece. It's time for Biden campaign to embrace AI.
To be fair, to be fair, AI is about the glitchiest. The closest thing to as glitchy as Biden is definitely our AI shit that's going on right now.
We could no. I think AI would be. I think AI would do a better job.
Well, yeah, my cat would do a better job. A dead raccoon would do a better job. A box of bare assholes, deep fried, would do a better job. Like, all right.
Well, just picture it. Just imagine.
An AI-generated robocall of President Biden's voice has made the president sound absolutely fucking based. Let's listen.
Hello, Justin. It's me, Joe Biden. Look, here's the facts. Capitalism has outlived its usefulness. Socialism is the future. Now, I'm not talking about your grandpa's Marxist Soviet Union malarkey. I'm talking about good old American, red, white, and blue-collar socialism. We're putting workers in the driver's seat. We're dissolving the corporate billionaire ownership of all industries, and every workplace in America will be worker-owned and operated. We're giving Tesla to its workers. We're giving Disney to its workers. We're giving Amazon to its workers. Because workers know best. Workers innovate, not billionaires. Oh yeah, and for all you slimy billionaires out there, guess what? Have fun scrubbing the toilets. Let's get this country back on track. God love you, Justin. You're very cool and handsome. Amen.
Fucking based.
I love the end there. Fucking based.
Where? Yeah, I know where really. I mean, maybe a
An AI-generated.
Maybe a ChatGPT president wouldn't be so bad if you really try to imagine it.
Okay, so my long-standing flaw I have in power structures is that I don't necessarily think that I don't think humans were programmed to run like to have control over like 1 million people or like 2 million people. I think it kind of breaks your brain. I don't think human beings were just meant to do that. So, with technology, I feel like a modern-day dictatorship of the proletariat might just look like administrators and us levying the best technology we can to enforce the will of the proletariat, the will of the people, the working class. And, AI might be able to help us do that because, you can weigh in on anything on your phone in 5 seconds. Why do we have representatives anymore? What's the fucking point? We don't need them. You needed them back in the day where you had to elect a guy to go like speak for you at a location of a group of like different representatives. That was a solution to a problem that technology ideally could just solve now.
It's all just swapping characters. I think Putin kind of puts it pretty well here.
And perhaps it is not about the personality of the leader. It is about the elite's mindset. If the idea of domination at any cost, based also on forceful actions, dominates the American society, nothing will change. It will only get worse. But if, in the end, one comes to the awareness that the world has been changing due to the objective circumstances, and that one should be able to adapt to them in time, using the advantages that the U.S. still has today, then perhaps something may change. It is not about the personality of the leader, it is about the elite's mindset.
Which is why, again, and I'm going to keep making this point. What's up, Nick? I'm going to keep making this point. I'm not going to stop making this point. Putin's spot on. It doesn't matter who you have in charge. So,
no, I mean, I just want to point out the amount with what we have compared to other countries. Like what's actually. I don't see any other country that's like that. I genuinely don't see any like as genuinely foolish as this. Maybe the UK a little bit, but I mean, Yeah, that you guys take your guesses. ChatGPT.
I mean, out of that
Harris.
Listen, group of people,
out of everyone, whether it's Biden or Trump, the biggest loser is you. At the end
it
of
is. Because, as we say here, you don't really live in a fucking democracy. If a malfunctioning corpse is your supposed leader, then you don't live in a democracy. You just don't.
You never really had one like in the past couple decades, really.
Well, that's the thing.
Jimmy Dore kind of puts it well. He says there's like a clip circulating from him today. Talks about like habeas corpus, how Obama repealed this law from habeas corpus. It was like in the Magna Carta. So we're operating from like a liberty view of the 1100s. They and especially with the Supreme Court presidential immunity law, it couldn't be more obvious that the oligarchy is here. But I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's kind of why even with this third party shit, I'm kind of just like, what are we doing here? Because the people supposedly elected Biden to run the country, but his system 32 was deleted years ago, and the country's still making decisions. Someone's running the country. Someone's getting all this shit done, and it's not someone who was elected. So what are we doing here? What are we doing with this electoralism shit? What are we doing with this, maybe a third party will come in and me? What's preventing them? If clearly there are other forces guiding the decisions of the nation behind the scenes, what does it matter what face is up there? Because it's just a fucking face. Do you guys want Jill Stein to win so she can break your heart when she just starts magically doing all the shit that you expected Obama to change in 2008 and nothing else happened? Everybody should have learned their lesson with Obama. I should have learned my lesson with Trudeau. It's going to be the same shit. There's no path to change under electoralism because the system is designed to essentially prevent any sorry, I'm having a Biden moment.
We're all having Biden moments now, yeah. It's
I think he infected everybody's brains. I think now we have we're suffering from anarcho-Bidenism.
Anarcho-Bidenism. Vosh unironically called himself that one time.
Yep. This system is designed not for you or me. And furthermore, it's not, they don't work for us. They don't. I'm sorry. Right now, there's forces that are making decisions that a melted brain person can't make. What's this? Fred Edward. Dore references a Princeton study, 1994. We lost out democracy to the corporate billionaire class. Yeah, exactly.
That is another one. Yeah, there was a Princeton study that that is peer reviewed. These people that don't like science, that basically proves that we don't live in a traditional democracy, or what you would call a democracy. It's much more like an oligarchy.
Yeah, so this whole crazed liberal progressive framing that even a lot of people on the far left are falling for, where it's well, we can't let Trump get in or we're gonna lose our democracy. Motherfucker, you already lost it a while ago. You don't have one now. You're just gonna have a mean guy. And let's not forget that nothing fundamentally changed under Trump either, because he wasn't the boss either. He didn't build his fucking wall. He didn't drain the swamp. He brought in swamp creatures. He became the swamp. He didn't fuck.
John Bolton.
He didn't wreck the deep state. He worked with the deep state. Nothing ever fundamentally changes. Nothing.
Sorry, whoops. I guess it's the next one. I mean, I guess we're jumping into the next one. But this is another headline that came out.
Ukraine is too corrupt to join NATO. When you're too corrupt to join NATO, that's
a
bad.
great one. This is a really just fantastic article that I wanted to go through tonight as well. Because we can remember how far the Russian mainstream media. I'm trying to find I have this like PNG of like mainstream media before and after. But we already knew of how of the Ukraine's corruption. I'm just going to find an example article.
It's all right. I'll actually be right back, guys.
Okay. Now I'm getting all these headlines that are referencing the Telegraph article. We're talking about a country that arrests journalists. It bans political parties. And Zelensky is basically acting like quid pro quo dictator, essentially, right now. And if you think about it, since we couped that country in 2014, that means that we're basically operating a proxy dictatorship right now. And because there's no more elections,
But I thought Putin was the dictator.
Yeah, I know they're a never-ending war. So technically, Ukraine is in a dictatorship, undergoing dictatorship right now.
But the TV man told me Putin was the dictator. I'm confused. Can you explain?
Dude, I'm not gonna. Let me get 12 feet. Okay.
Oh no! Did you get paywalled?
Yeah, I got 12 feet. It's okay. Whoa! Why does it look like this?
Oh no!
What the fuck is going on?
Oh, the Telegraph. Okay, the Telegraph is Joe Biden programming this website? Is that what's happening? Did we finally beat the Telegraph?
Medicare.
We finally beat Medicare.
We beat Big Pharma. However, it happened. I don't have to show example articles, okay? But
I love what I'm seeing on the screen right now. This is just great.
What is this? I'm really trying to understand. I'm multitasking right now, so hold on. Let me find another source.
This is clearly an Illuminati symbol. You
God fucking Christ.
iCloud. Bro, NAFO's onto you. They're fucking your shit up. They're in.
No, dude, I had it up. I needed 12-foot ladder There's gotta be another article that's not fucking people up. Oh, I'll do inner cartoon. This should be simple. NATO wants Ukraine to make more efforts to crack down on endemic corruption as a condition to as any daily progress that is going to be watched. So this is just a list of excuses that we've already seen. We've heard. Oh, they need to beat Russia first. Oh, then we need to fix up the country first. Oh, we need to get the land back first. And like, we're running on endless time here. Oh, motherfucker! Let's go back. So it's according to the Telegraph, it's going to be told that it's too corrupt this time in order to join NATO at the nearest NATO summit, which Ukraine is invited to, not being any Ukraine NATO member. Strange. Senior U.S. Department officials told Telegraph that the West must applaud everything that Ukraine has done in the name of reforms over the last 2+ years, like a dictatorship and like a
Pretty
racist
much.
election, and banning political parties and media. And we want to talk additional steps that need to be taken, particularly in the area of anti-corruption. It is a priority for many of us around the table. NATO members first agreed in the 2008 that Ukraine would eventually join the bloc without setting an exact timetable. And after the Western-backed coup in Kiev, we already kind of talked about that. Jens Stoltenberg has said that Ukraine's accession is out of the question while it is in conflict with Russia, and 16 members must be when allies agree and the conditions are met. Ukraine has been plagued by corruption for years, and hostilities with Russia have made a problem even much more apparent, and the Ukraine military has been rocked by several high-profile procurement scandals in recent months. Graft is high on the list of concerns for Ukraine's Western backers in the EU and the U.S. Last month, the EU set up a special watchdog to combat the possible embezzlement of billions of dollars allocated to Kiev. In May, Robert Sturz, the Pentagon's Inspector General, released a report stating that endemic corruption persists in Ukraine, while calling its government one of the least accountable in Europe. It's literally the most. Yeah, Ukraine is in the red zone, ranking 104th in 180 countries. And within Europe, at least, it is literally the most corrupt country.
Oh my God.
This is just getting like, I'm wondering when this clown show is going to stop. I'm wondering when this is going to end.
I'm going to make a prediction. So this whole racket is probably going to end when the Taiwan arc that we all know is coming ramps up. It's already kind of winding down. You see the corporate media kind of framing it as like, okay, we're done. And, obviously NATO's like, no, which a lot of us called out. We're like, no, you're never joining NATO. They're like, you're being used.
They drugged them like a oh man. They literally traded crack for a country. And then BlackRock just came in and they were like, we're taking this. Can you imagine trading your country for crack? He probably has Hunter Biden's stash. I'm talking about Zelensky.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what Zelensky and Hunter, maybe that's what Hunter was doing in Ukraine. Maybe they were just like getting a whole crack thing going.
They probably had a crack club.
Yeah, they got a crack club for sure.
Crack club. I like that.
But
I like that name. The crack club.
But okay. Serious question. I think this is all gonna finally come to an end when the Taiwan arc starts. Here's my official prediction for the future. I could be wrong. I'm wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of shit. I'm going to be wrong about a lot of shit in the future, but I'm going to make a prediction. November comes. I think at this point, the rich and powerful are they probably want Trump in. November's going to come. Trump's going to win. Taiwan shit's going to ramp up. That lines up quickly with Trump's promises to end the war in Ukraine. I think that'll kind of just ramp down. I think Ukraine is just going to have to settle with Russia. And I think now that all of the main priorities in Ukraine have been fulfilled, such as all the entwinement, if you will, with BlackRock, and the military-industrial complex has obviously made an insane amount of money. And by the way, Ukraine's going to have to pay all this back. They're now in debt to the States. They're not just going to give them all that shit. Now they own their ass. So that's fertile territory. This is all going to wind down when the Taiwan shit ramps up. And that's when shit's going to... You heard it here first. That's when shit's going to get really scary.
Yeah, 2030, yeah.
When the West...
When we piss off China.
When the West fully leans into this whole, like, China is our enemy thing, which is fucking coming. Mark my words. Okay? Empires don't just die out with a whimper. Okay? There's thrashing. It's going to look like leaving a narcissist in a relationship. All right? It's going to get really ugly before it gets better. It will get better one day. But
speaking of which, like, just to play off of that real quick, we had recent apparently leaked. I don't believe that it's leaked. Like Trump comments.
Orange Man leaked this shit himself. Come on now.
So the Trump campaign released basically a video of him and Barron on a golf course somewhere.
Amazing.
Just listen to this.
Broken down pile of crap.
I want to listen to what he says about the president of China.
Yeah, it's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the rest. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of it. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
I agree, buddy.
The tone of his voice when he said pathetic, you could hear the disgust in his voice when he said it.
So bad.
It's relatable. Everybody feels that way.
Everyone just feels bad.
That guy dealing with
He's got to go, man.
The president of China, who's a fierce person. He's a fierce man. A very tough guy.
Dude, he almost he drones off in like wonder, like just thinking about President Xi. Just look at that. Listen to what he says. He's a very fierce person, a fierce man.
I just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they probably can't. But if they just announced he's probably quitting. Good. Yeah, that's amazing. Just keep knocking.
So, do you think this is like fear mongering, or do you think this is like some genuine fear coming from Trump? I mean, this is probably our next president.
No, I think it's both. I think it's fucking both. I think the first takeaway I had after
that was what caught my ear. I was like, oh, he's talking about Putin and Xi. I'm like,
the first
I want to
thing,
know what he has to say. Yeah.
The first takeaway after of course, Donnie's got some nice knockers there. Those are looking good. After that, my takeaway was like, oh fuck, the West is, oh my god, they're so fucking scared. He doesn't, I don't think this is just a normal like China does this. He sounds scared. He sounds like fucking rattled. And if you look at a lot of the other rhetoric from the top people when it comes to China, there's this like actual fucking anxiety over it. Like they're aware. This whole BRIC shit has like, I think it's rattled people to a degree. He's like, fuck. He's basically communicating like, guys, this isn't looking good. We need someone who's going to be able to like deal with this nation, at least under the theatrics of WWE that is Western politics. But still, it's like, shit. We need someone
also,
to
he's
like.
a 23 cap. He lied during the debate. He said he was like a 8 or like a 12. He's a 23 cap.
Yeah,
I
Greg.
don't know much about golf, but
Greg, I hate to break it to you, but he actually lied for the whole debate.
he lied the whole thing. Yeah.
He,
yeah.
I gave up on fact checking because at some point I'm like, okay, this is all just bullshit. I got to a point where I'm like, none of this is probably true. And Biden lied guys, listen. It was a debate between two pathological liars, two proven pathological liars. Both of them have proven to be pathological liars.
It probably would have been track records.
It probably would have been really boring if Biden didn't start 404 president not found on us. I probably would have tuned out because after a while you're just like,
I was gonna wait, dude. I called it. I was gonna wait for him to die, something dramatic, like a JFK moment to happen. I don't know.
That might happen during the second debate. He just comes out and he's just like, and just falls over and dies. And then it cuts to commercials. And then the CNN board is just sitting there. They're just sitting there and they're in fucking military blankets and shit, and they're like, we couldn't predict this. I can't believe it. We told him to drop out, not drop dead. We just said drop out. And then they cut back, and Trump's just staring there and then looking into the camera, and you just see these feet getting dragged off stage.
Holy shit. Oh. We're nearing up 2 hours, so let's wrap it up with this last segment that I had. I thought it was an interesting thing that came out from Middle East Eye. Pro-Palestinian activists have been alarmed, and I want to just know your some of your opinion on this. Pro-Palestinian activists have been alarmed by the white supremacists and anti-Semites joining the advocacy against Israel's war on Gaza. So in the West, most far-right political parties have generally known their weight behind Israel in recent years. At a conference in Spain in early May, hosted by the far-right Vox Party, representatives of several ultranationalist political movements gathered to hear Israel's Minister of Diaspora Affairs, I'm not going to pronounce that name, Amchai Chikli, described the frightening in Gaza as an existential battle for the future of Western civilization against radical Islam.
Yeah.
Far-right. Yeah, that's not good. Far-right support of Israel is nothing new. A feeding of all the national fear-mongering of non-white immigration and Muslim, which you do see a lot from those accounts. They put Dr. Anastasia, but I'm pretty sure this account's a Fed too. They mentioned several. So, however, far-right support for Israel is nothing new, feeding off nationalist fear-monger about non-white immigration Muslims. However, since the beginning of Israel's war on Gaza, the small and seemingly influential group of national activists has emerged, amassing a large online account following by condemning Israel's bombardment of Gaza. So grifting. They're calling out the grifters, which is true. That's what these people are. Before October 7th, these accounts were a mix of white nationalism, COVID-19. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, because as we know now, a lot of those conspiracy theories just turned out to be reality. It got to the point where people were joking that the term conspiracy theory just means spoiler alert. They ruined conspiracy theory forever. You should never use that phrasing again. Because people are just going to roll their fucking eyes because y'all lied too much.
Yeah, and I think it is important to point out the associations too. We covered Nick Fuentes before, and how he's definitely these people are it's so hard to draw the lines between who's actually feds and who's not. But since then, however, the content has been increasingly focused on Gaza. Some are boosted more by others. Some of them literally post each other's they copy and paste each other's posts and they just do the same thing. And they quote tweet each other all the time. That's just what they do. The influence of these right-wing activists appear to be growing sufficient that in December, Israeli soldiers scrawled several times of their names on a missile set fired into Gaza, which gives you like kind of like a play on like, are they associated with the IDF in some way? How would they know? Like Andrew Tate, well, I guess Cenk Uygur. Jesus Christ!
Did a child write this?
That's how they write. That's how they draw on missiles, like a child. And then, although there is much content to be shared enthusiastically, questions have been raised about their motives with the leading figure Jackson Hinkle, which we talked about, the MAGA communism grift. We should just like shorten this article into here's the grifters, the U.S. grifters coming in to grift on a genocide, and then just have a list. The Mohammed guy, the general coordinator of BDS, told Middle East Side that anyone profiting from the conflict was a genocide enabler.
Okay, so my initial thoughts on this are, I'll be the first to say I don't think this is a black and white issue. Because again, here's
what do you think this article does though? Like, do you think this achieves the ends that it's like intending to make, or not really?
I think this article first and foremost is just trying to it's like
feeding off of like the division, right?
It's feeding off the division, and it's trying to kind of paint it's doing the thing it's doing the thing that they always try to do, right? It's like if you're critical of this, you're in this camp. I'll be the first one to say that, like, I don't think this is a black and white issue insofar as I think when you witness the atrocities being committed in Gaza, I think that kind of transcends like partisanship. I think it transcends tribalism. I genuinely believe that a lot of people, okay, they're looking at this and they're going, okay, I don't care. I cannot support this. This is horrifying. I'm not going to be on this side of history. And I think there are a lot of people on the right who are sincerely like that. They're like, I can't fucking do this.
There's a segment of conservatives that act purely based off of their emotion. And that's kind of where you see like Candace Owens as well. Like she has a kid and she was like, so a lot of these people have like personal lives where they can like kind of relate to that. Like if you see like a brown child being like killed on your Twitter feed with their jaw fucking blown open, which I saw today.
Yeah, I did too, and I cried.
Yeah, it was.
I fucking cried. Fun times we live in.
Yeah, and it's
so
and
like.
I lost my train of thought too.
It's okay. So this might be a good way to like separate these two groups, because there's definitely an op in this. There's definitely an op where a lot of the people who you would expect to just kind of simp for Israel are kind of siding with the Palestinians. I feel like this might be a good, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, this might be a good litmus test, I guess.
This does seem like a very liberal article. I mean, his post mainly focused on praising Russia and Vladimir Putin in the week before the Hamas-led attack. As an American patriot, talking about RT, I hope Russia liberates every last square of Ukrainian territory.
Yeah. Okay, so
the bogus charges on Tate, which are not bogus, I covered that. We covered that too. Well, me and Chris.
Yeah. So okay. I think a productive way of like kind of measuring this is, does this person's actions, do they feed the established narrative, or do they go against the established narrative? Because you'll see a lot of these far-right accounts that claim to be against Israel, and they claim to be in support of Palestine, but then they go actually anti-Semitic, or they make like negative comments about Jews. Nick Fuentes is a perfect fucking example of this. He feeds the narrative.
Discrimination.
He feeds the. It's okay. He feeds the narrative that is run, and the main narrative about the Israel-Gaza conflict is that criticizing Israel and criticizing Zionism is the same as anti-Semitism. So any of these accounts, any of these personalities who are basically siding with Palestine, but then saying like, oh, I hate Jews, Jews are evil, they're feeding the main narrative. But I feel like the people who are instead focusing on the Zionism and not directly going against Jewish people or expressing anti-Semitism or even further clarifying, saying there's a difference, I feel like those might be genuine people. But to me at least, are these people who like they claim to side with Palestine, but then they're refocusing it from Zionism to Jewish people. That's just my take.
So like, if you're talking about like things like, okay, like Jews run the world, like there's like a borderline degree to that. Like, I mean, if you're talking like the Zionist lobby that like literally has a stranglehold on America, like which is essentially the power, central power of that, at least for right now. That's not like far off from the truth, but it's stuff like this where where like I wish they linked this tweet, but like almost every book by banishing white people is written by Jews, like claiming like there's like some sort of like white banishment conspiracy to like get rid of the whites or something when they're all European themselves.
Yeah, that shit feels like an op, 100%. Because again, they're just trying to feed the narrative that it's like you can't support Palestine without hating Jews. That's the main narrative that is fueling all of this. That's what they're running with. And it's beautiful that it's not working, because it isn't fucking working. But that's it. And you're seeing a lot of this where it's like these people, even though they seem to be on the right side of history, what they're signaling is that it's like, I support Palestine, therefore I'm against Jews. And that's, again, it's feeding the narrative that is being forced on us. The people who reject this are the ones I think are authentic.
Censored Men got pissed and made a whole ass post about it, calling it a hit piece, which, a lot of that's the thing. A lot of these aren't really like too far off from the truth. Another thing I should add is that I was tweeting in support of Palestine when my audience was primarily conservatives. And anyone knows then, till right now, support for Israel was an expected thing amongst conservatives. So tweeting in support of Palestine. So this guy's a self-proclaimed conservative. He calls himself a conservative, whatever this account is. I did it anyway, however, as I don't sell my morality for likes and retweets. And the Palestine was an issue I cared deeply about. Although it was a fairly liberal article, there remains some truth to it because, I mean, he's calling out. I'm just reading this now. The site, the anonymous researcher. He's talking about the cited works. It's like they're talking about like they cited the Atlantic Council, so that means that they're Zionist controlled. which is an interesting theory. It makes you wonder, why is Middle East Ally working with such hardcore Zionist organizations to let it speak a pro-Palestinian voice? So, I mean, they cited research from the Atlantic Council, and that I'm genuinely trying to like understand this. He's connecting the research. They cite an anonymous researcher from the Atlantic Council, and so they're funded by Zionists. I genuinely don't understand that. I genuinely don't get that.
Yeah, that's a little confusing.
A representative of Jewish Voice for Peace talked about being alarmed. One of the reasons she was peddling homophobia. Then he talks about the Muslim population. This is a whole ass essay, but there's a whole battle going on right now. But I kind of want to use it to point this out about how, or at least like have a talk about like how many people of these are like feds. How many people are like how much of this is like connected to like are they connected to Zionists in some way?
We firebomb Christians. We drop a nuke.
Like Candace, like she's usually good on she's good on things like Ukraine. She's good on Israel, Palestine. But like these are reactionary. Like, she's terrible on the cops. She's terrible on the economy. So like it's a mixed bag with these people because they act. I think you made a good point earlier, where like they're kind of like operating on this on just whatever's their first sense of motion. There's no like long term or like outside work like thought. It's like how would I feel if I was in that situation just simply by watching it. But
Nuke on praying Catholics. And if you know about it, you get screamed at by the propagandists in the West. Knowing about it is the crime. The crime is not actually dropping a bomb on praying civilians in Nagasaki. That's not the crime. The crime is not firebombing people through Ash Wednesday in Dresden who were civilians, children. No, that's not the crime. The crime is you knowing. It's me knowing. That's the real problem. And I got to stop knowing these things. I got to stop knowing about Pol Pot. I gotta stop knowing about the Cambodian genocide and knowing that, of course, there were people that did worse things throughout history. Especially as a Christian, I have got to stop talking about Henryk Yagoda. They get real upset when you talk about the Bolsheviks. Do you want to know why? Because the Bolsheviks were never brought to heel. The Bolsheviks never had to face trials. There were no Nuremberg trials for the Bolsheviks. In fact, many of them came to America, and many of them are in positions of power right now. That's why they get real angry when you start looking into history, when you start recognizing that they are intentionally telling Christians to shut up about the Christians that have been killed all across the world. They get very uncomfortable when you know stuff that they did not put into your book when you were in middle school to traumatize you into compliance of believing that the only bad people ever, there's only two of them, by the way, Putin and Adolf Hitler. So to those people, I'm just going to say, spare me. Because I'm not going to stop talking about real history. I'm going to educate people that follow me about real history.
You're going to educate people about real history.
Okay. And the Bolsheviks?
What?
Are the Bolsheviks they're okay, not only are they running the government. This is the wild shit that you're hearing from these people.
She did like 5 left, like sharp left turns there where she was just like frantically connecting the dots, and she went all the way around to this like popular conservative like talking point that it's like the communists are the Democrats. Candace, where are the Bolsheviks in government? Where the fuck are they? Can you name
trials.
one?
There were no urban trials for the Bolsheviks. In fact, many of them came to America, and many of them are in positions of power right now. That's why they get real angry when you start looking into history, when you start recognizing that they are intentionally telling Christians to shut up about the Christians that have been killed all across the world. They get very...
Hold on. What is this, like a red Operation Paperclip? What in her fucking
two questions there
head?
about that? Tell me what
this was another parent. This really pissed me off too. This is crazy to say. And
I don't know why the fuck. I don't know why the fuck Jimmy's having these people on his show. I don't get it.
I don't know why either. I don't know why.
It's so fucking. It's so fucking weird.
This is so sad. This is so sad. Just watch this.
So let me ask you two questions there about that. Tell me what is Yagoda and what happened with the Bolsheviks and the Christians?
Oh, you just casually killed 10 million Christians. It's incredible. People think that the greatest mass murderer was Adolf Hitler. And no, actually, if you want to talk about genocide, the fact that people in America don't know about what the Bolsheviks did to Christians, where did the idea of a concentration camp come from? The Bolsheviks. The reason why we're not allowed to learn about these people, we don't talk about Henryk Yagoda, is because he's a Jew, right? And so it conflicts with the narrative of Jewish people always being the victim in every single circumstance. So we're willing to push away Christian history. We don't talk about Christian history whatsoever because they have this bizarre focus, our classrooms, on training us to have this bizarre allegiance to Israel. And so to suit us, I feel that we are heavily propagandized in the classroom. And the reason why I feel that way is because we spend years talking about the Holocaust, only for me to learn when I'm out of school about a bigger Holocaust that took place at the exact same time. We were locking arms with Stalin. I mean, you read Alexander Solzhenitsyn talking about the gulags and who built those gulag systems, who created those gulag systems. The majority of them, he eventually wrote a book, were Jewish men. And of course, this has not become collective guilt. Doesn't mean all Jews are Bolsheviks and think this way. But the fact that I'm denied the right to talk about my history while you demand I talk about yours and you demand that I worship Israel doesn't fly with me. I'm just sick and tired of the subjugated Christian. I'm sick and tired of the tail in between your leg Christian that is like Israel first, and then I'll get to the New Testament. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm uncomfortable with it. And that was probably the first time in that entire interview that Piers shut up. Because he knows I'm right. It's utterly ridiculous to come to a Christian and say, have you used your platform to talk about Israel? Do you think that he would go to a Jewish person and say, have you used your platform to talk about Armenia? And if the answer is no, then why not? It's because what has happened is that it's not an equal system. No, it's not equality. They are treated, Israel as a country is treated with special interests. And I got to say about Israel, I'm just looking at the history.
Do you see how, like, this is how you base it? This is how you know it's a reaction. She's reactionary. And purely based off of emotion, because she's self-identified Christian. So her only concern is throughout whatever Christian genocide is. I mean, Armenia is ethnically Christian, which is why she gets that one right. But I'm just thinking about like what would happen in like an Iraq or like an Afghanistan situation where it was like the kind of like these like Sunni Muslims where like, you know, that was very not like her. I'm wondering how she would read. I don't know.
It's okay. There's way too much to unpack just in these completely fucking like rosé-fueled, cocaine-fueled rants that she's going on where she just like, she gish gallops, she like packs as much shit into it as possible so it goes into your brain and you don't have time to like consider all the different like points of like we finally beat Medicare that she's doing here. Okay, so
this is
like
crazy.
Candace, yeah. I hate to break it to you. You're talking about gulags, right? You're talking about them. You're referring to them as concentration camps, which in and of itself is max like 3 cans of chunky chicken noodle into the ear, into the brain. But you know what? You know what country has currently right now a way worse gulag system than the Soviet Union? The one you're living in and the one that you defend. The United States prison system makes the gulag look like fucking Teletubbies daycare. Okay? There's literally fucking slavery in that system. The fact that anybody can talk about gulags
And by the way,
not
the majority
the states.
the majority of people killed in gulags were Nazis. By the way,
of course,
the majority, like probably like 70%.
Yeah, but those people are fine to her. Those people are fine to her. She's already like low key being like, why do we just talk about Hitler?
Because they're Christian.
I don't know, Candace. Why do we talk so much about fascists in a negative light?
I don't know.
Why do we do it?
She that's why there's like two sides to this, because like she's saying, you know, good things about like Armenia, Israel, Ukraine, and like all the it's hard. You're right. It is a lot to unpack. Crazy.
The history there. I mean, this is our greatest
The history. It's a woman who claims to know history.
ally, as they say. That's the program. This is our greatest ally. I mean, with allies like that, who needs enemies, right? In terms of the things that they have been involved in historically, no one wants to talk about the USS Liberty. With allies like this, who needs enemies? I am tired of being involved in their crap. I'm America first. I won't apologize for it. I'm Christianity first. I won't apologize for it. And that upsets some people because I guess, how dare she have the audacity? Well, guess what? I have the audacity, folks.
So you're saying that there was a greater Holocaust of Christians that happened, and it was committed by the Bolsheviks, and the leader of them at the time was a Jewish guy.
Well, Henry Gagoda, what really ran the Gulag camp system. So people should read, if you're interested, Alexander Solzhenitsyn talking about how shocking it was to watch the American president linking arms with Stalin, talking about we're putting an end to the Holocaust in World War II. And Stalin was still mass killing Christians in Russia. I mean, it's an absolute nonsense. And you got to take it back all the way. You know, the Bolshevik Revolution happened. They assassinated the Tsar, I think, in 1880. And then by the time they actually properly took over, I think it was around 1910. And so what was going on in Russia at that time was they immediately took over. They started a gulag system, concentration camps, where they were mass drowning Christians in barges. And this information is readily available, and yet you never learn about it. And people don't want to talk about it. It makes them very uncomfortable.
Well, I didn't hear about it until I heard you talk about it.
Yeah, Henry Gagoda. Look him up. It's stunning. I mean, he must have killed alone 15 million people. And this is a person that's not even spoken about. And so that's the reason why Piers just goes, okay, yeah, no, okay, let's move on to the next point. So in my viewpoint, the Israeli government has way too much involvement with the American government, and part of that this program. And you saw this after October 7th. Congress immediately passed that there would be we would be learning about October 7th in schools as if it was like Pearl Harbor, right? A day that will live in infamy. Why? This is not my country. That's a nonsense. And if the answer is, because it's a day that should live in infamy, why just Israel?
Dude, no pushback. No pushback.
And this is a person that's not.
You're talking about a person that Jimmy is someone who like frequently interrupts. I mean, just watch like Marion Williamson, Cornel West. Like he's willing to rail the people that like really actually just people who do actually deserve it.
Being fair to Jimmy, he has admitted live on air that he doesn't know a lot about like USSR, like that stuff. He's admitted like I don't know about that. But here's the thing, my guy, you got to educate yourself.
That's not even spoken about.
You got to learn about this shit. And like
why just
after someone makes these claims, you got to go look it up for yourself. Because guys, I'm sorry, this fantasy Bolsheviks did a Christian genocide sort of thing. That never fucking happened.
Why is Israel?
Right.
Why not also what's happening in Armenia or happening in Nigeria or happening all over the world? Why not a day that will live in infamy? Russia actually just went through a terror attack, and Russia has a lot of Christians. I'm Christian. So if we can just start drafting over days of terror that happen on the basis of our religion, I'd like to draft what just happened in Russia. I want my kids to learn about that in school.
Here's another thing real quick. Did these Christians happen to have any other attributes other than being Christian? Was there anything else they might have had an allegiance to? Or were they just Christians? Were they just like, I love God, and the big bad Stalin was like, then you need to die. Go into these camps. Is that? Am I figuring this out correctly? Holy fucking shit!
I want to put together a book recommendation, a book list one day. But like, this is a very highly recommended. Where did it go? Oh, this book here. By Paul
I've heard of this.
The Myth of Judeo-Bolshevism. I want to do a video on this one day. I'm gonna try to. I've been trying to. I have some notes written already, but I'm working on something like to like cover this, like kind of like debunk this, kind of like summarize this up. But this is a very highly recommended read. Definitely if you're interested in this topic, like how like literally Lenin was like a third Jewish, like by like extension of like his like mom. No, it was like there was like so they don't. I think like in the Jewish religion they count if your mom is Jewish or your dad is Jewish. I forgot, but like in like apparently like
mom, it's the mom. It's the mom.
It's the mom. Yeah. So like his dad was Jewish.
Okay.
So it doesn't make any sense. So his mom was Christian and his dad was Jewish.
Yeah. I'd love to do a video on this too, because I'd love to learn more about where this specific narrative like originated, because it involves like
it's a classic like theory that came out like during World War II when it came out through like the Third Reich first, because like they were battling communists. Like the Nazis were very anti-communist. They're fighting Stalin. I mean,
yeah, like this. I mean, yeah. No, but that would be a good thing to dive into, because like, goddamn. Okay, after watching all that content from Candace, I don't think she's I don't think she's authentic either. I think Candace is just a fucking grifter. Because here's the thing. She's staying within her lane when it comes to like the reactionary conservative sort of shit. Pro-Christian, all the same McCarthyite bullshit, all the same anti-communist bullshit. But she's taking like a stance. She's taking a stance that is like that makes her stand out from all the other like chuds. I think she's just kind of hoping to pull like enough of the pro-Palestine people over to her. Or, I mean, it could also be an op to pull the pro-Palestine people over to the right. Because again, this is what I'm noticing across the board. Like, just the West in general is just, they're just all lockstep moving to the right. And this isn't surprising. This is actually by design, because this is what you can expect to happen with a dying empire. With a crumbling empire, they have to move further and further towards fascism. Historically, that's what happens. So, I don't know. You guys make up your mind. I'm not going to tell you one way or another on the authenticity of this person, and we obviously don't live in her head. But, yeah, this, I don't know, this just kind of has grift energy to me. It's kind of the same as like Blair White, where it's a lot of like pick me energy, where it's like, oh, I'm this person, but I have this unique thing that like sets me aside from the other 8 million conservative people parroting the exact same shit every week, to the point where like you only need to follow one of them and you'll know what all of them are saying. You'll know every opinion they have on every fucking issue. It's a problem. I don't know how half these people make any money, because realistically, you don't have to tune in to all of them. You don't have to support all of them. Why not just have them all on like the same, like conservatives got to get real. They got to all just get on the same network together and have 24-hour coverage where they just do shifts, repeating the exact same narratives over and over again. It would be a very good grift. They should get on it.
Yeah. All right, that was all I had for tonight. Pretty much, we're running up on 2.5 hours. So, hope you enjoyed the 4th of July free dumb special.
Free dumb.
Yeah. If it wasn't for copyright, I would play some America Fuck Yeah. But
America Fuck No.
I hear dog in the background. All right. Let me go say goodnight and eat something before I go to bed. And let's close out the stream. I hope you guys have a good Thursday, a good 4th of July night, whoever's tuned in tonight. This whatever you call this holiday. But there's upcoming streams coming up. We have Saturday. You're going to be on. I'm not sure what Tara is doing. I don't think Tara is going to be doing anything. But
I'm not actually sure what I'm going to play yet. Might try and might do some more Shadow of the Erd Tree. Might actually I might go back and finish the Thaumaturge because never finished that game and it was fucking dope. It was a dope game. I want to finish that out. But yeah, be sure to tune in. Take a break from all this political madness and from finally beating Medicare. And we'll we did beat Medicare. Thank God.